It is Tuesday, January 30th, 2018, and this is Seaside Chats with Kenneth Arthur, where sometimes I sit down with comedians and actors, writers of note of something, and then we talk about their favorite NFL teams. Now, typically, this was the first year that I had done this particular format, and during the season, typically it would be who the Seattle Seahawks were playing, since I run this, Field Goals is a Seattle Seahawks website. I'm a Seattle Seahawks fan. But, as it were, the Seattle Seahawks no longer alive for any sort of contention or games as far as the season goes this time around. And that's been the quick case for a month. But we do have the Super Bowl still. They're going to run it anyway, absent of the Seahawks. And the game this year, as it always is the Patriots versus someone else. And that someone else this year is the Philadelphia Eagles. So I thought the best thing to do, and, we can talk about how the last time the Seahawks beat the Eagles, they beat them by 14 points. We can talk about the last time they played the Patriots, they beat them in New England. But none of that stuff matters because the Patriots won the Super Bowl after that, and the Eagles, hey, they could win the Super Bowl. But to talk about those teams, you've known him before from talking about the Eagles. Jonny Svarzbein is here again to talk about Philadelphia. Jonny, in a sentence or two, how do you feel right now?
Hey, it's your pleasure that I'm talking to you right now. Thanks for having me on the show.
Great. Nothing to do with the Eagles. No excitement there. He's just happy for me to be talking to him again. And I agree 100%. And for the first time to talk about the Patriots, the Seahawks didn't play the Patriots this season, but the first time to talk about the Patriots, Joseph Fahey, or Joe Fahey. You can call him whatever you want, I think. He didn't tell me to say that, and I'm overstepping my bounds. But Joseph Fahey, thank you so much for coming on the podcast, talking to the Patriots. Joe, is it getting old at this point to talk about the Super Bowl?
Yeah, there's too many Super Bowls. I can't keep up. I got a life to live.
Man.
Yeah, it's just tough. It's real tough. No, actually, I'm more excited about this Super Bowl, I think, than any other Super Bowl, because it's like a redemption match for the Eagles, and I'm still a little jaded by like the Giants beating us twice, and we never really, usually we don't do too well on our redemption matchup. So it'd be cool to just sort of solidify by our greatness by beating these Eagles.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also, it's probably going to be like the last one for a while, at least, with Josh McDaniels and Patricia leaving. So, I want you guys to get one good swing in there before everyone ages out and you guys fade into obscurity.
There you go.
No. The Patriots are a well-oiled machine.
Yeah, they're a well-oiled machine of just a bunch of players of consequence, and then Gronkowski and Brady. Brady's old, and Gronkowski's always hurt. So I hope your running back by committee and defensive back by committee and defensive line by committee system works without the best head coach ever and the best quarterback ever. We'll see, though.
Yeah.
And we'll get into all that. And this is what I love. This is what we're going to get. The banter, the barbs, the offhand compliment here and there. But to begin, we've gone over Jonny's history somewhat with the Eagles. Joseph, here's your opportunity now. We're going to get into it. You're a Patriots fan. Where did you grow up? And in relation to that, how did you come to be a Patriots fan? What year about was it? Can you remember the season when you first started following the Patriots?
I grew up in Hawaii, but I started being a Patriots fan in 2012. Diehard Patriots fan since 2012. 2013, actually, now I think of it.
Thanks, Joseph.
Yeah, and I'm Jonny Svarzbein. I grew up in El Paso, Texas, and I'm an Eagles fan. Just because I'm a contrarian, and I didn't want to be a Dallas Cowboys fan. Yeah.
And scene.
Okay,
great.
Scene.
Wow, right. That's mean, Joe.
You're mean.
Fuck you.
Yeah, no, I grew up in Connecticut, which is in New England. But Connecticut's an odd state because you could be fans of just teams that are closer to you. So, I mean, a lot of my friends were like Giants fans or Jets fans or, I'm trying to think, like I had like a few Patriot, friends, but a lot of them like loved the Jets, loved the Giants. And, I don't know. I grew up as a Patriots fan. My dad, liked the Patriots, and I watched football with my dad. I would go to Patriots games when I was younger. It's just I just would always watch the Patriots growing up.
And what was the first season that you can remember following like intently? Was that prior to their Super Bowl?
Well, I mean, obviously I remember the Drew Bledsoe Super Bowl, but I mean, I think I really like was old enough to like comprehend football and really get into it like during the Brady era. It was just like, it was just more mature and more of an adult, not an adult, but just more mature and just able to like comprehend it a little bit better.
Yeah, where were you at? Like, what was your situation? Because this is what's interesting to me as well, is just how much time has passed. But in that same token, that all that time has passed, Tom Brady has been the quarterback for the New England Patriots from 2001 to now. I mean, we're talking about 2001. He's facing off against Rich Gannon and Kurt Warner in the beginning of Kurt Warner's career, and
future Hall of Famer Rich Gannon.
There you go.
What was that?
Future Hall of Famer Rick Gannon. Nice.
Hall of Fame broadcaster. Hall of Fame midday Fox. Nobody knows who's talking broadcaster.
Throwing mad shade at Rich Gannon.
But where were you at? Like, can we think about like how much your life has changed from the Super Bowl win in 2001 to the Super Bowl win last year?
As like associated with my fan.
Yeah, I want to picture like a 15-year-old Joe Fahey licking on a lollipop while Super Bowl one or Super Bowl first.
Super Bowl one.
Super Bowl one.
I'm 103 years old. Let's see. I was like 12 during that Super Bowl. It's cool because the Super Bowl always falls. My birthday is February 2nd, so the Super Bowl is always around my birthday. Sometimes it falls on my birthday, but so yeah. I mean, I just turned 12, probably, or just about to turn 12, and it was incredible. I mean, the story. I mean, we all saw it. Drew Bledsoe goes down, and then this dude that no one really knows anything about comes up and and becomes a hero. It was just incredible to see, and of course, like being a young impressionable kid, it's just like I think like when I saw that Super Bowl, that was when I was like, oh, like sports are like they're just like they like, it was when I became interested into it, and I was like, oh, like sports are cool. Like, of course, like when I was younger, I'd love like watching Michael Jordan, but I think I was more of a Space Jam Michael Jordan than I was like actually watching Michael Jordan play. And like I couldn't comprehend it, but like this was like the first time I was able to like comprehend like sports. And like,
so in that era, and then this era will conclude with us being able to get back to Johnny, which is the Eagles-Patriots Super Bowl.
No. I want to hear more about. Everyone loves hearing Patriots fans talk about.
But paint me a picture of someone
that their birthday falls on the Super Bowl and the hero out of nowhere. Get the fuck out of here.
It's like I've gotten 5 birthday presents personally from Tom Brady over the years. It's pretty incredible.
What's it like when you're in middle school, going into high school, and there's just a dominant dynasty Super Bowl team that's won 3 out of 4, and Tom Brady is the most famous person? And I mean, it's continued, but really in that era, like, was everybody wearing Patriots gear? Was it like a way of life at a time? I mean, it was Connecticut, but that whole area.
No. I mean, people in Connecticut, they're pretty hard-headed, and like they stick to their team. So it wasn't really like you weren't seeing people, you know, all of a sudden becoming Patriot fans because, you know, Tom Brady, or because the Patriots started winning Super Bowls. Like, people still were into the Giants. People still would talk shit to me. Actually, I was like kind of, in a weird way, maybe there's just like a personal thing. I was like kind of like, over the years, I became more and more embarrassed to be a Patriots fan. Just because it's like, yeah, it's like you just like, you want to be like, you want to like stay humble and like, but the sports team that you like is like just a dominant like force in football. And it's just like, oh man, it's just been so hard, you know, just not going into a Whole Foods and screaming at the top of your lungs.
How genuine this is. Genuinely being like, what a victim.
No, it's different, you know. I think like
the violence.
I think like you know, like to be honest, like I was like a fan, but I was a fan, but like I didn't even get like my first like Patriots jersey until like maybe at, like around the Eagles Super Bowl. Like I remember like getting a Deion Branch jersey, just like but I never flaunted it, and you know, to anybody, and like it was just like you know, back and forth banter between kids. Yeah, it's so weird because like Connecticut's such a weird state because like people are literally like it's split in three ways. Mets fans, Yankee fans, Red Sox fans. It's like you could go either way depending on like just who your parents are, where you live, like, you know, who your family rooted for growing up, you know.
It's like a real lottery there to either luck out to be a Yankees fan or a Mets fan or like some other fan or a Patriots fan.
Yeah. It's I mean, there's just a lot. I mean, I think it's just because of how close of like of a vicinity it is to New York, you know.
Yeah. Now, Johnny, in this amount of time from 2001 to 2004, the Eagles were the second most relevant team probably of the NFL, you know, going to 4 conference championships and then the Super Bowl. What was that? What was your memories of Donovan McNabb and Terrell Owens in that Super Bowl in 2004?
Well, like Joe mentioned, I grew up in El Paso, Texas, and because my mom grew up in Jersey and was an Eagles fan, I became an Eagles fan. So also a victim of consequence when it comes to who your parents root for, you have to root for. So it was 2001 to 2004 was bliss. It was the best because I sat through all the late 90s. Like that was when I was in high school. So it's like all those seasons where it was just like Mondays and Tuesdays I would go into school and like all my friends would just razz me for the Eagles not being great. And I was just the worst. And then when I finally went to college, they were great. And that was great because I went to college in Tucson at the University of Arizona. So it's like Cardinals fans, I guess, or like people that like, you know, most of the population of the University of Arizona are kids that are too dumb to get into UCLA or USC, and then they just go east. So it was like a lot of like I guess 49ers fans, but like being an Eagles fan in the middle of like not Eagles country, not really any country, was great because no one like talked shit about them, but also like there weren't a ton of Eagles fans around. And then when they made the Super Bowl, I was so pumped. And I had everyone over to like my place. Let's have a Super Bowl party. And I knew they were going to lose. I knew they were going to lose because one of my friends came over wearing I forgot what jersey it was, but it was a Patriots jersey. And I'm like, what are you doing? You know how big of an Eagles fan I am. He's like, hey man, I just want to root for my team. You know, I just wanted to come over, hang out, and I'm going to be rooting for my team. And that's what Patriots fans are. They're like, they don't realize how inconveniencing they are. everyone around them. Hey, let's just have a good game. Let's just, I would just want to see a good contest. Get the fuck out of here. I wore your jersey in my place to like passive aggressively try and shove it in my face. And I knew they were going to lose. There's that one guy, like a hangnail in the Super Bowl. Those assholes.
Well, we're here now, Johnny. We're back. You're back in the Super Bowl. There's been the between 2004 and this year, the Eagles went to one conference championship, a few other playoff appearances that didn't go very far, but they are back again now with Doug Peterson and Carson Wentz, and certainly a lot of people feel confident, not if the Eagles, whether they win or lose this game, that they'll be competitive for quite some time. And on the other side of the field, is going to be the Patriots, who win their third Super Bowl in 4 years. I mean, Joe, do you think that this team is, the perspective changes so much from being a childhood fan to an adult fan, but do you think that this team is better than the team from 2001 to 2004?
Yeah, well, obviously, I think so. It's just, you cannot go that many years of a combo like Belichick and Brady and not get better over the years.
Wrong.
Wrong. Okay.
No, see, and this is just classic Patriots fan nonsense. The team is not better than the 2001 to 2004 teams. Not even close.
Well, individual.
Brady and Belichick are better. Absolutely, they're better. But the team, the overall team, defense is so much worse than it was back then.
Well, yeah, obviously, we don't, our individual players maybe not are up to par with the 2001, but it's like
all the individual players except Gronkowski and Brady are worse. that is 50 people of a 52-person team. So it's just like, it's classic Patriots fan to be like, yeah, the team's better because Brady's better.
No, I don't think I think it's just like I think that if you look at the Patriots, it really is just in the coaching and just and their maneuvering as far as and adjusting. They're probably the best team to just adjust throughout the seasons and throughout the years. And that's just what makes them such a dominant force. It's almost like what makes Alabama such a dominant force in college football. They're just able to adjust. So you're not getting the best college players, at Alabama, but you got a good system there and it works.
Johnny, how do you feel with getting back to the Super Bowl and seeing the Patriots again? Does it make you feel are the Patriots the team that you are most happy to face? Because if you beat them, you can say a middle finger to the Patriots and we took them down, and we can do that, something that all these other teams, the Falcons, the Seahawks, the Panthers, whatever, couldn't do, anyone except for the Giants? Or is it well, great, it's the Patriots. Those assholes are going to win no matter what.
It's awful. It's awful. I don't want this. Are you kidding me? That's the other thing about the benefit of being a diehard Eagles fan that didn't grow up in Philly. I'm not a nonsensical, brash asshole. Logically, you know who I want to play in the Super Bowl? The
Browns,
the Jets, or the Colts with Jacoby Brissett. That's a much easier game, and we'd be favored to win. I don't care about going in and being like, ha ha, we got you. Yeah. If it's this is going to be either a hard game or a blowout. I don't see this being an Eagles blowout. So if they win 17-10, fine. If they win 50-30, okay. Just give me a trophy.
Yeah, I don't think that anyone, this is one of the important things I think that fandom can overlook or discount or whatever, is nobody remembers who someone beat in the Super Bowl. You do, but you don't care, and it's inconsequential. Peyton Manning's only Super Bowl with the Colts came against Rex Grossman. I can use that, but it's at the same time, he's got the ring and he's got 2 rings, and his other ring, didn't happen when Peyton Manning was any good. Yeah. And that even, Cam Newton wasn't even the best guy to go in the Super Bowl against. So I think as long as you win, you win. And the rings, nobody cares that the Giants necessarily beat the Patriots. It's like, hey, they got 2 rings, and it's like
it matters more.
Maybe it should count as more, but it doesn't count as more. It counts as the same amount.
It matters more to like whoever loses. Like whoever loses, then there's like, oh, now it's a grudge match, and like, you know, like Falcon fans hate Brady now, when before it was just like neutral, or like you just don't like him because he was a winner. But I don't care. I don't care about someone's legacy. I don't care if Nick Foles can just walk into any bar in Philly and get a free drink for the rest of his life. I don't care.
You just won a Super Bowl.
Just win, you bums. Just don't fuck this up for me. You fucked up so much. You assholes. Just win.
But what do you
just play like you did last week? If the offensive defense plays like they did against the Vikings, who have a much superior defense, and they put 38 points up, and have a very electrifying offense, and they held them to 7. If we do that, then we win. Just do that.
Do you feel, you know, with that, Johnny, do you feel at least confidence that if the Eagles don't win, that they will be back next year, that they will, or do you feel like just this is it? Like, I don't know if it's because you're there with Nick Foles. Next year, you're going to have Carson Wentz again. The assumption would be that the Eagles would get back to playoffs with Carson Wentz and have a much better chance than they would with Nick Foles next season. But a lot of the times the team, we can see the Falcons, you know, they had their chance and then they blew it. And we can see, you know, the Seahawks, when they went against the Patriots the last time, they had their chance. And then since then, they haven't really been close. So it's like, is this the thing where you'll feel confidence even if they lose, or is it just now?
Oh, if they lose, I'll never trust anyone about anything ever again. It's like,
well, that's
pull the rug out from under you. Kind of like, this is like, if they put up just like a crap performance in the Super Bowl, it's like, you remember that cartoon where it was like a guy who discovered that singing frog and had it in the shoebox, and anytime he like showed someone, it just didn't do shit, and then gets into like an insane asylum or something. That's how I'm gonna feel. Guys, did you see last week how great they were? Oh yeah, show me this week.
That's so fun. I mean, I think that also just speaks, you know, true to the fact that, I mean, the Patriots are just they're like an Apple computer, right? And they're just a good, like they're just they're good. I mean, I guess that's more of an opinion if you're an Apple or a PC guy, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. They're just like a reliable. They're like a reliable truck, right? You know that they're always going to like get you to your destination, and you don't have to worry about you know, they lost the Super Bowl to the Giants again. Like, are they ever going to make it back? Tom Brady's 40 years old. He was suspended for 4, you know, games in the beginning of the season. What are the Patriots ever going to do? And then those storylines are just getting, you know, proven to just be, you know, blown out of proportion year after year.
Yeah, I didn't picture you as a truck guy, Joe.
Yeah, well,
what's that carbon footprint, buddy? But to answer your question a little further, Ken, if they lose and like the team isn't like split up in any important way, there's no reason why they shouldn't be the like far and away favorite to win the NFC next year. Because I mean, if they did all of this without Carson Wentz for the playoffs in the last 3 games, without a Hall of Fame left tackle and Jason Peters for pretty much the whole year, without their best cornerback, best player in the secondary for the first, 7-8 weeks, and without like one of the most versatile running backs in the league, Darren Sproles, like there's so many injuries. You could go down the line. There's so many like important key injuries to the Eagles. If they're healthy at the start of the season, I mean, they should be the favorite to win the NFC. And if they win the Super Bowl, and then the Patriots lose both their offensive and defensive coordinators, when Joe's been talking about how amazing it's all about the coaching staff, and then they lose like the most important people besides Belichick on that coaching staff. If the Eagles win the Super Bowl, and all that happens to the Patriots, and the Eagles are not the favorite to win the Super Bowl next year, It just shows you just like how biased this fake news media is. They just want to make America Patriots again. I don't see. That's the thing. That's the difference between me and Joe. It's like I'm an Eagles fan, and Joe wants to repeal DACA and kick all the. It's just classic Patriots fan. Classic Patriots fan. We have Brady and Belichick. Let's kick the Dreamers out of the United States.
I mean, you can't like not look at the Patriots and be like, wow, like it's just so fucking impressive to watch such a dominant force. Like this is like insane. I mean, this is
we
like
all get it. We all get it.
It's so
but we don't want to be at our kid's recital and then like some kid is amazing and then the parents like, you know, hitting their elbows into everyone like around them being like, huh, that's my kid, huh? How impressive. Like get it.
Joe, do you have an NBA team? Do you have an MLB team? What are they?
Sixers, Phillies.
Yeah, Sixers. Yeah, I mean, I stuck, like I said, my dad, it's, you know, my family roots for New England teams. So, I mean, we stick with the Boston teams. Celtics.
So do you like, I'm just curious, like for sure, but do you marvel when like the Yankees marvel when like, do you look at the Golden State Warriors and go, I like that they're really.
Oh yeah, I mean, obviously, I respect it because I experience it with the Patriots. But yeah, I mean, I understand where Johnny's coming from because, like, yeah, it's like you watch, you know, when your sports teams aren't, you know, as dominant. Like, I mean, the Red Sox, you know, were not a dominant team, and they're in this, you know, they were always playing the Yankees, and it's just like, and I fucking hated the Yankees growing up, you know. It was just like it was always a heartbreaking experience, and a lot of my friends were Yankee fans, and like it was like basically, you know, fall. It was like me, you know, being top dog, and then like come, you know, spring, it was like it's over with. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really care if the Eagles win or if the Patriots lose. I'm definitely not. I think that if the Patriots win, it'll be like, wow, that's impressive. Like it's the same way to look back at John Wooden at UCLA or the Boston Celtics of the 60s. You're just like,
yeah, absolutely. I mean,
record forever.
Yeah, I mean, Wooden over at UCLA, it's great. And also, though, it gives me like fear too, because like UCLA really hasn't been good at that. I mean, they haven't really won anything since Wooden was.
Well, they were good in the 90s with the Bannon brothers.
Yeah, but I mean, like they weren't as dominant as you know. As,
well, no one's been as dominant.
Yeah, I guess. So it's like, and no one's been as dominant as like Belichick in the Patriot era. So it's like in his era, you know, with the Patriots. So it's like, yeah, I'm maybe you know, I like I said, I try and be humble with my wins, you know.
Well, here's the main difference is that like the Wooden UCLA teams, especially with the ones with the Lou Alcindor, like they changed the rules to make it harder for them. They like banned dunking.
Yeah.
With the Patriots and this Belichick Brady area, they've actually changed the rules in favor of the Patriots.
Okay, all right.
To make it easier. It's like there's never been one team more dependent on like the quarterback than the Brady Patriots, and then all the rules changes that have happened make it easier for quarterbacks to get penalties if they get hit. And there's never been a more hittable quarterback than Brady.
Okay, so all I get from
dumping off passes to these scrub running backs, and you just want to pop them in the mouth.
All I'm getting from that, Johnny, is that Jonny Svarzbein is against safety and the health of individuals.
No, I root for CTV. I want to see someone get hit, and I want to see the memory of their kid's 5th birthday pop out of their head, never to be seen again.
Well, there's no. I mean, there's no doubt that the NFL completely lacks parity. I mean, I think even in the sense of like, I think there's 4 teams that have won like 40% of the Super Bowls. If you look at the last 15 years or so, every super team in the AFC that's gone to the Super Bowl, except for Joe Flacco, has had either Tom Brady, Ben Roethlisberger, or Peyton Manning.
1%.
It's very one-sided for a couple of teams, it seems like. So there's that, but I also just don't fucking like the Eagles. So I don't want to necessarily, it's not like I'll get any pleasure from seeing Nick Foles have as many Super Bowls as Russell Wilson. I'll get nothing out of that.
It's not that you don't like the Eagles, all the Eagles haters. It's not that they don't like the Eagles. It's that you don't like us liking the Eagles as much as we like them.
I will have to say that
my vindictive nonsense that you have to just get over with. I mean, your teams have probably been like done for the season in what, November, October? Get over it. You and your Seattle speed bumps or whatever, talking about a win that happened in 2017. We don't care.
I think Johnny's touching on something too, is like, he talked about Patriot fans, but I mean, let's be real. Like, Johnny, you didn't grow up in Philadelphia. Philadelphia fans are some of the worst individuals on the face of the planet. Like, they are awful.
Oh, and people in Connecticut are just great.
They're great. They are great.
So. No, they're not. They're like
Conan O'Brien lives in Connecticut.
County racists, all of them.
No way. Well,
how long did you grow up before you saw someone that wasn't white? Like, how many years did you go living in Connecticut? Non-white person.
Well, I didn't really have a privileged life in Connecticut, as you know, but I think that's an exaggeration. But honestly,
jersey of a non-white Patriot player.
I'm sorry, say that again.
Have you ever owned a New England jersey of a non-white Patriots player?
Yeah, my first jersey was a Deion Branch jersey.
He's white.
Yeah, I don't. I think what, like, I was like listening to the radio earlier today, and they were like playing like interviews with Philadelphia fans, and they are freaking nuts, dude. They're like some of the craziest individuals I've ever, and they're just a bunch of jerks. Like they're like, I guess, like, in a way that Johnny's saying like, oh yeah, we're like uppity jerks, but like they're in your face jerks where it's just like it's unsettling.
It's just years of like mental illness brought upon by these Eagles teams.
Yeah,
like, I was talking about like. Just like that cartoon with the singing frog that like never poured. Yeah. It's years of that. It's just years of. I wish I was a Browns fan, because you would just expect to be dog shit at the beginning of the year, and then when you're dog shit, you're like, oh, good, at least that's what I expected. But with the Eagles, it's like no one saw this team being 13-3, and no one saw them like getting to the Super Bowl after Wentz went down. And it's just like, if they lose this, everyone's going to be even that much more insane. It's like, it's just triggering like aggressive mental illness every time these Eagles bring your hopes up and then like just smash them to the ground. You should root for the Eagles. Any neutral fan should just root for the Eagles just for our mental health. Just be a little like empathetic, a little sympathetic even.
For the
just to highlight a few of the players in this game. I'm curious. Dion Lewis is one of the big stars for the Patriots, and he got his career started with the Eagles. And Eric Rowe was a second-round pick of the Eagles that didn't work out there, and then was traded to the Patriots. Johnny, did you have feelings about either of these players, strong one way or the other? And when they were with Philadelphia, and how does it feel to be facing them with them playing for New England?
Who are the two people you mentioned?
Dion Lewis and Eric Rowe.
I'm not sure who Eric Rowe is.
No feelings. You don't know who Dion Lewis is?
And Dion Lewis is their backup running back?
Dion Lewis is one of the best running backs in the NFL this year.
He was the guy that replaced LeGarrette Blount, who we have.
Right. I was going to flip it eventually.
Running back. You want me to comment on my feelings about two scrubs that aren't good enough to be on the Eagles? I'm not sure what this question is.
This is a tough position for an Eagles fan to be with ahead of a game in which Dion Lewis will probably do a lot of good things.
Oh yeah. Our front seven isn't anything. Yeah, we haven't stopped good.
Not what I said either.
Anywhere. You know,
I mean that's
it's like, are you forgetting about our defense? Are you forgetting about like an entire half of our team that is so much better than their half of the team?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go over to Joe now.
You also have a defensive coordinator is just like a known, like he's not good. I mean, Jim Schwartz as your defensive coordinator, your defense probably should have been better than what it was.
Are you kidding me? Jim Schwartz is a better head coach than almost half of the coaches in the league, and we have him just focusing on the one thing he does, which is defense. And you're telling me a defensive coordinator that has produced this defense, which so you have the entire year?
How many playoff games did Jim Schwartz win? One playoff game, and you have Calvin. Calvin Johnson on your team, and you only win one fucking playoff game.
But that's the Lions. They stink.
No way, dude. The Lions. I think it's the coaching thing. It's definitely a coaching thing, dude. Jim Schwartz is just not. I don't know. His record against Brady is not good either. I did look up one stat.
For the listeners out there, Jim Schwartz actually coached for Bill Belichick with the Browns in the early 90s as a college scout. So they are friends.
Aw.
Good for them.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
I mean, to go on with the Dion Lewis thing, it's like, all right, yeah. So, I mean, it's just exactly what we do as a Patriots team. We take people like a Wes Welker or a Danny Woodhead or a Dion Lewis, and these are rejects, right? That nobody wants, and we take them and we utilize them and we turn them into like superstars.
Mm-hmm. So this is the Patriots fan being like, we have the best players on our team, and then in the next sentence being, yeah, all our players suck. It doesn't matter how good you're playing.
I didn't say that we had the best players on our team. I said that our team is significantly better because we just over the years as a team just know what we need to do to win.
So you're saying that even though you have worse players on this team, it's better than the ones in 2001 and 4?
Yes. I think that you could, if you want to rely on individual players and have like a shitty, if you want to rely on individual players for you to win, like then you're not going to win. I'm sorry. Like it might work for basketball. It might work for baseball or stuff like that, but in football, it's not gonna win. It's all like the coaching is what it's all about, and it's about being that well-oiled machine.
And we, and I thought it was also interesting. Chris Long, was on the Patriots last year. He's on the Eagles this year. LeGarrette Blount, you mentioned before, same thing. Joe, how did you feel about Chris Long and LeGarrette Blount? And are you worried about seeing them on the other side this Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, dude, Chris Long, I love Chris Long just because of his activism off the field. I mean, that dude's a fucking baller. Obviously, it sucks, not having him on there. But I mean, I don't know. LeGarrette Blount's even a bigger heart thing because it's like, it's LeGarrette Blount is a beast. Another one who was a reject. Granted, it was to his own fault. Mm-hmm. He went, second round when he should have been a first rounder.
He was undrafted, actually.
Yeah. Oh, was he undrafted? I thought he got dropped to the second round. Wow. All right. Well, anyways, he's picked up by Tampa Bay, and then we get him after, or Titans or whatever.
He was I think the Steelers had him at the time of the season. And he forced his way out, and then he came in 2014 to join the Patriots, and that was heartbreaking for myself.
Yeah, I mean it's great. It's it sucks, but I mean that's what you get when you're a Patriot fan is that you see these big trades happen. When they let go of Wes Welker, I was like, what the fuck? We're going to try and rely on Julian Edelman. He's terrible. All those different things. And then you just are surprised because the Patriots are just the best team at just making. They know what they need and how to win, and like they know how to make adjustments. So they're the best team for that. So losing LeGarrette Blount sucks. He's obviously a great player, and I'm happy he's having success on the Eagles, but I don't think it's not going to affect us in any worse way.
Yeah.
We have a good.
Let's wrap up with some sort of prediction here, guys. I think everyone knows which way each one of you is going to go. But Joe, what do you think is going to happen in the game? And if the Patriots win, why will they win?
Patriots. Patriots. This is what I'm thinking it's going to happen. I think it's going to be a pretty close game. I'm going to say it's going to be 27-20. That's what I feel like the game's going to be at. Patriots win. Obviously, it's just their in-game adjustments. We saw it numerous times over the season. We saw it in the Jacksonville game. We saw it in the Super Bowl last year. They're able to they play their game in the first half. And if it's not working, they're able to make adjustments so that they could come back and win. So, we just have to play our game, and we'll most likely come out on top.
And Johnny, you know where I'm going with this. What's your prediction for the game? And if the Eagles win, why will the Eagles win?
The Eagles beat the defending NFC champs and the other best team in the NFC. The Patriots are limping into the Super Bowl after beating the Titans and needing a miracle against the Jaguars in the fourth quarter. This isn't going to be close. Eagles 44, Patriots 7.
No way, dude. No way.
6 touchdowns, 1 special teams touchdown, 1 defensive touchdown at least. And a safety somewhere. They'll get a safety somewhere. Wow. So that's why it's not 42.
I'll say this: if the key for the Eagles winning is definitely getting sacks on Brady. But if you look at their sack stat, it wasn't even that great of a sack. It's not even that great of a stat. I will give them that their secondary is pretty beast, but their pass rush is okay. And you got to sack Brady. Rushing him will not do anything because he's just too dominant of a quarterback.
The facts actually support the exact opposite of what you're saying. Everyone knows that the front 7 of the Eagles are much better than their secondary. And their secondary is decent. Maybe you could say pretty good. But that front 7, you don't need sacks to stop Tom Brady from being Tom Brady. You need pressure on Tom Brady to make him change what he does. So even if the Eagles don't get sacks, they're definitely going. The Eagles have the 2 things that can be like a Belichick Brady buster. They have a consistent and good run game that has depth, and they have a front 7 that can get to the quarterback. Maybe not sack him, just knock him down, pressure him, because then these scrub wide receivers that you have to get in the offseason to replace the scrub wide receivers that go down to injury early in the season, then they start playing down to their potential. You just need pressure on Brady, and you need to run it down their throats.
I don't think pressure. If you watch any game where Brady's pressured, in the beginning it's maybe a little hectic, but he eventually figures it out. So I'm not too worried about pressure. If you get sacked, that's a different story.
Well, that was all very interesting, and I think that indeed, I myself am having a hard time predicting the Super Bowl. I like the Eagles for some reason with their defense and just the way. I think that the Patriots themselves, I think the machine is slowing down. I know how crazy that is, but I think the machine is slowing down just as, some other groundswell is going to be, the Patriots themselves had to overcome a 13.5, 14-point Super Bowl not deficit, but the line was against them in 2001. They were the biggest underdogs, and they beat the Rams, and that was sort of a switch that started the Patriots. And something feels right about the Eagles, although at the end of the day, I don't know how I can pick Nick Foles over a Tom Brady team. It's just that's how tough it is. The Eagles are, I believe, need 5.5. This the 5.5 point underdogs, and that itself feels.
If you can find the line at 5.5, put money on the Eagles now.
Well, I think that's what it opened as. I don't know what it is now.
Westgate dropped it to 4 the other day.
Okay.
Well,
I think.
And Gronkowski is pretty questionable, so that'll probably.
And if there's no Gronkowski, I mean, Gronkowski for me is the most important skill player in the NFL. So it's tough.
It's a huge hit to our offense, but I mean, like I said, we're the best team at adjusting and making adjustments. So I'm not worried at all.
If Gronkowski goes down, or if Gronkowski is out before the game, and you can find it for anywhere 4 points, 4.5 points, put money on the Eagles.
Yeah. Well, I'd be with that there. Joe and Johnny, where is there anywhere you'd like people to find you if they're listening to this? Twitter, Instagram?
Yeah, you could find me on Instagram. It's just my name, Joseph Fahey, JOZEF FAHEY. All one word, and then same thing on Twitter. You can find me on. I got a Facebook page, Joe Fahey, Nosy, JOE. Yeah, there
you go. And Johnny, JJS Comedy. Am I right?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at JJS Comedy. You can also follow my dog on Instagram at QB the Pug. That's CUBIE the Pug, all one word. He's adorable. And yeah. I just want to change my prediction now, just because I was listening to Joe, and he's just so annoying. I say Eagles 41, Patriots 3. No, Eagles 51, Patriots 3.
Oh yeah,
okay. I was going to say you took less points.
Yeah, you took.
Yeah, I saw some. I predicted some field goals at my future site.
That's
41. Oh man, that's funny, dude. Yeah, we'll see. That's gonna be a good game. Yeah, Johnny and I are actually going. We're gonna go out and watch it together.
Perfect.
JK.
You suck. You all suck. All of you. With your dumb Patriots and your Seattle speed bumps or whatever they're called.
I've never heard speed bumps, so I appreciate that it's something original. And
I hate all of you. You know what?
That's it for this episode of Seahawks Chats with Kenneth Arthur. This has been Jonny Svarzbein and Joe Fahey talking Super Bowl. So go ahead and watch that if you can. I know it's not so there will be something to watch, and I think we could get a good game here. And hey, either a guy's going to win his 6th ring, or Nick Foles is going to be a Super Bowl champion.
If the Patriots win and the Eagles win, Nick Foles gets a ring, or Gronkowski gets another. So University of Arizona, bear down.
There it is.
Wildcat gets another ring.
That's it for us. You can find me on Twitter at Field Goals or at Kenneth Arthur S. And tune in next week for something different.
Eagles fly.